This is Change Your Mindset Podcast, the podcast that helps change your life by helping change the mindset of the 99% into the 1% mindset. Here's your host, Adrian Gomez.
Welcome to Change Your Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian Gomez. I was doing some research and came to a conclusion with some notes that there are 15 things poor people do that the rich don't. Some people might get offended because this is what you do, and this is exactly what poor people do and the rich do not do. And that's what separates the rich from the poor and the 99% to the 1%. The different mindsets of these two groups of people. So the first one is poor people watch a lot of TV. And I talked about this before. Most people do nothing with their lives once they come home. They hate their job, but they don't try to improve it. They don't try to learn new traits. They watch TV, watch the next TV series, they binge a show, or watch a movie, or sports. And they waste their time. They get no value out of it. None of that benefits their life. Most people, poor people, are interested in celebrity gossip or buzz, which gives you no value to your life. Doesn't help your life whatsoever. And most people watch TV because they had a hard day at work. They want to forget about work. They want to disconnect from their life or from their job. Instead of dealing with their problems, they decide to waste their time by watching TV. And the rich do the exact opposite. And people say, well, I just watch TV for the weather or for the news. Nowadays, these stations are biased. They don't always tell you the truth. They always tell you what they want based off their agenda and their self-interest. They don't always tell you the truth. Number 2, poor people eat fast food. Most poor people, lazy, don't want to do anything. So since they don't want to cook, since fast food is so convenient, they rather eat all this sugar and fats, which is killing your body. And I made a podcast about this, how fast food is killing you, which it really is. But poor people choose fast food because it's convenient, cheap, and fast. And the food you put in to your system is the performance you get out. So if you're putting all this cheap, processed food into your body, you have a bad performance. What do rich people do? They eat actual food. They have actual chefs that make them clean, healthy food, for they have a better performance. And this is what you always hear. Health is wealth. There's no point of being rich if you're not healthy, because you're not going to be able to enjoy your wealth because you're going to be sick, tired, and lazy. So number 3, poor people buy clothes or products that are on sale. A lot of people love shopping. They want things now. So instead of buying stocks that go on sale, which creates wealth for you, poor people buy clothes because they want to feel good, they want to look good. Instead of creating wealth and making more money, instead of buying assets, poor people buy clothes. And most of these clothes, they want to look like the rich, so they buy these name luxury brands, which I've talked about before, that are actually cheap material. And I've said this many times before. You want to look rich, but instead, you're making the owner of that company rich. And people buy these big old logos and brands on their chest. By the end of the day, you're basically a walking billboard for these brands, advertising their merch, for other people can buy their brand. Number 4, poor people wake up later than rich people in their early years. Some of the most successful people, such as Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and Warren Buffett, all woke up early at earlier ages. If you think about it, when you wake up earlier, you have more time in your day. And you're up before your competition. That's a huge advantage in business. What do poor people do? They sleep in and they waste their time and are not even productive. Number 5, poor people are really into sports. This is another topic I've made a podcast on before. Sports is a business. It doesn't provide any value to you. It doesn't benefit your life. It doesn't make you money. It is entertainment. When you're watching a game, you have no impact whatsoever in that game. So you become a spectator instead of a player in real life. At the end of the day, you're giving these sports teams, their owners, and the players your money, exchanged for entertainment. Rich people do not do this. Unless they're already made alive and they go watch the game because they have so much money, have nothing else to do. Number 6, poor people don't shower as often as rich people. This may sound weird, but this might actually make sense to you. So people tend to trust you less if you had bad hygiene. People prefer to spend less time with you in their presence because of that reason. And another reason is poor people don't shower as much because they're lazy and they're tired. Reason number 7, poor people blame others for their misfortunes. In other words, victim mentality. Talked about many times before. Life is not what happens to us, but how we react to it. Poor people victimize themselves, and rich look into it and find a way to fix it. The thing is, poor people blame everybody else except themselves. At the end of the day, no one tells you what to do. Nobody controls you. You do what you want. You have free will. It is up to you to change your life. You can complain and whine and say life's not fair, the world's not fair. Everyone's against you. At the end of the day, rich people figure it out. They do something about it. That's the difference. Number 8, poor people have no money saved. Why is that? Poor people love to spend. They buy. Because we live in a consumer society. Once people get their paycheck, they want to go buy something. They want to go spend that money. You're never going to get rich by doing that. Doing that keeps you in that miserable job you're in. And that's why I've said this statistic many times. 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And since poor people don't save money, when an emergency happens, they have to sell their own things to get money, such as their car, houses, luxury goods, whatever it is. They have to sell it because they have no money. And what do rich people do? They have money saved up because they know when an emergency happens, which is unexpected, they're protected. They have money saved up for anything, and they won't be worried and won't be in financial trouble. Number 9, poor people use credit cards or take out loans for useless things. Most people, like I said, want things now. And if they have no money, because they don't save money, and they already spent it, they go into debt with their credit cards to buy things they want, things that they do not need, which is not essential. But we live in a consumer society, so people buy it, even though they don't have the money to pay for it right now, which is one of the biggest mistakes people do. But what do rich people do? They use credit for investments. They take out money and they invest in an asset, which is eventually going to pay them more than the credit they took out. And they will be able to pay off that loan. So that loan actually makes them money. But poor people take out loans for things that do not make them money. And that is the difference. Number 10, poor people tend to have more kids and earlier in their life. The average cost for a kid from when they're born till they're 18 is approximately 288,000. So let's say the average family has 4 kids. Throughout their 18 years, that's going to cost them $1,152,000. Most people don't even make that in 10 years. Poor people decide to have kids because they don't think about the consequences. They don't think about the backlash. They don't think about how expensive it is to raise a kid. Don't get me wrong, kids are a blessing. But you have to be financially prepared. So what do rich people do? They don't have kids at a young age. Usually they have them later on in life. Why is that? Because they're busy making money, getting assets, building businesses, for they will be financially stable. And when the time comes to bring a kid into this world, they won't have to worry about money. And they will be financially set. But poor people pop out kids like it's nothing. Don't get me wrong, I have family members that have 5, 6 kids, and they can't even afford them. They have to get support from the government. Unfortunately, not everybody is financially educated. Number 11, poor people do not do regular checkups with their doctor. Like I said before, your health is important. Most poor people decide to skip the doctor because they don't need it, they don't care, or maybe they can't even afford it. But at the end of the day, if something's wrong with you, it's always good to catch it in the early stages, for you can prevent it from getting worse. Because once you find out later on in life, if you have something very serious, it may be too late. That's why you gotta take care of your body, because it will take care of you. Make sure you are healthy, exercising, and eating right. Health is wealth. Number 12, poor people spend money before they get it. And this goes back to same thing with credit cards. People love to spend money. It's a very bad habit because people look with their eyes and they want things. And like I said before, they want it now. They want to wait later or when they have the money. They want it now. That's why all these scams work about get rich quick, because people want to be rich now. But it doesn't work like that. But that's the society we live in. And that's why people have bad credit score and go into debt. Because stuff like this, that consumer mentality, that poor mindset. Number 13, one of my favorites. Poor people surround themselves with other poor people. This is 100% true. If you have 3 poor friends that you hang around with, guess what? You are the 4th poor person. Because they have that poor mindset. They're not trying to get better. They're not trying to make more money. They're not trying to achieve greatness. They go spend money on entertainment, drinking, maybe partying, socializing, whatever it is. That is a poor mindset. It is true. If you surround yourself with people like that, you're going to do exactly what they do. And if you surround yourself with rich people, you're going to become rich because you're going to do what they do. You're going to pick up their habits. You're going to think just like them, which down the line will make you rich. Like I said before, poor people and rich people have completely different mindsets. You are the sum of who you surround yourself with. So, if you want to be successful, surround yourself with successful people. Hang out with successful people. Otherwise, you're going to be poor, just like your poor friends. Unfortunately, that's how it works. And I've said this before as well. I have friends that never want to prove that I have a job and does what everyone else does and blow money every weekend. That poor mindset. I didn't want to surround myself with that. So what I do? Cut them off. Because I don't want to be a poor person. I don't want to live my life having a job, working for somebody else, and making someone else richer. But that's just me. But it's true. Whoever you surround yourself with is who you will become. Number 14. Poor people never follow through on their ideas or potential. Why is that? because it's too difficult, it's too hard, takes too long, it's not convenient, it's not fun, takes long hours, so many excuses. At the end of the day, you control how much work you put in. We all have 24 hours in a day. However you decide to use them is up to you. If you want to reach your full potential or your dreams, you're going to have to sacrifice and put in hours and hours of work, which is exactly what rich people do. They sacrifice and they spend extremely long hours to reach their full potential or their ideas, no matter what the cost is. And that's the difference between the two. One wants their dreams handed to them without putting in any hard work, while the other is willing to put in the hard work to reach their dreams. Number 15. Poor people believe that others should help them reach the top. This world rewards the best of the best. People are willing to put in the work and sacrifice. Poor people believe that you deserve it. Someone should help you get it because you're obligated to it. Doesn't work like that. Sometimes you have to do the hard work by yourself. No one's going to help you. No one's going to do the work for you. No one's going to give you a handout. It is all on you. That's just the cruel reality of it. But now it's up to you if you want to do it or not. Don't ever expect others to help you reach the top, because you will surely be disappointed. You get what you deserve, not what you want. So those are 15 things poor people do that the rich don't. Like I said, some people may not like hearing this because it's the truth. Most people don't like hearing the truth because it hurts, because they know it's the truth, and at the end of the day, they can't blame anybody else besides themselves. So what mindset you want to have is up to you. You want to do what poor people do? Stay poor. If you do the opposite and do what rich people do, you can become rich. At the end of the day, it's your life. You choose how you want to live your life. But if you don't like your life, don't blame anybody else. Blame yourself. Because you're the only one that can change your life. But at the end of the day, we all have free will. So, the choice is yours. That's going to be it for this podcast. As always, I appreciate you guys listening. Thank you, Patron member Blade262, for being a Patreon member and helping support this podcast. If you want to support this podcast, be a Patreon member as well. If you have questions, comments, or you want to go over a topic for future podcasts, you can do that by being a Patreon member in the description below. Thank you guys as always. I wish you the best. Take care. And as always, change your mindset to change your life. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Change Your Mindset podcast. Be sure to tune in every week for a new episode. As always, change your mindset to change your life.